Good morning, grasshoppers. Let's close our timer there. We're not going to need that this morning. Ron. Good morning. What was I playing against Ron? I think I'm still playing knight c3. I am still playing knight c3. What? Who says we don't have a hook in this position? Who says we don't have a hook? It's just another creative Sunday. Oh, that wasn't what I was expecting. And now for something completely irrelevant. Yeah. It looks like I lost a pizza, or did I? Did I lose a pizza? Darn it. I lost a pizza. Ron, be kind. Please rewind. How do I... Mm-hmm. 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 That was such a great tactic. I'm sorry that it didn't work. Que pasa? And the winner is... Oh, no. The winner is... No! No! You did not do this to me again, Ron. You did not do this to me again. Oh, maybe it didn't. We'll see. We'll find out. Grr. Empty night. Good morning. Good morning, Lauren. How are you? It is great to see everybody after an accidental morning off yesterday. I woke up, I was rushing up here, and instead of being minutes to 5, or 5:05, minutes to 5:15, it was 6:05. Terrible. Good morning, Conta de Luna. How are you? It is so great to see you. Oh, that was so annoying, Ron. How can you do that to me? I'm one of your favorite customers. Dude. All right. Whoa. All right. We will continue. We will continue the interrogation. Can I do it that way? Yeah, let's do it that way. We're going to continue to do it that way. Now how do you guard a pawn? Attacking it 3 times. I thought we were attacking the pawn 3 times. What in the world is going on? What in the world is going on? What? Hilar Person. I love it. This FIDE thing is pretty spiffy. So is my pawn being attacked? That is the question. Rook takes, rook takes, rook takes. Okay, how about pawn push? Bishop takes, knight takes, rook takes, rook takes. I don't know. It looks like it might win a pizza. Oh, it's not going to win a pizza. That's too bad. But it could cause a certain amount of angst. That much is true. That much is true. A little bit of angst never hurt anybody. Now the question is, how do you guard everything from a larger amount of angst? Whose back rank is weaker? Check. Whose back rank is weaker? We are about to find out whose back rank is weaker. So bishop takes, bishop takes. Namaste. Matt Quick Chess in the house. I haven't seen you in so long. Good poker night, I hope. MQC. Actually, I can't put an exclam at the end of MQC as much as I want to try. Well, what's happening to my... So, exclam MQC. Got it. The second time I did that, twice in a row. So wait just a moment here. The math is off. The heat is on. chess. Everybody. Oh, very clever. Very clever. Is he doing it? He might be doing it. There we go. Just a moment's respite to figure this out, yes? That was needed. That was desperately needed. 5 minutes left. Is there enough time? We will find out. How have you been, Mad Quick Chess? Plus 1300. Thank you. Namaste. Thank you so much for the bits. I know over your long-standing relationship in the dojo, one of our more valued mod/VIPs. So I am so jealous that you're playing poker for real. I tell you. Unfortunately, I'm only a tournament player. You have more cojones than me. Far more cojones. You have the cojones of Tanya Sachdev. The Fighting King. That's a pretty darn good emote. I like it. The rematch. Let's see what he's got. I wonder if I could play a classical Dutch. Would that be okay? That's true. I could always play classical Dutch with the same setup. What is he trying to do to me? I thought we were friends. I really did. I really thought we were friends. Take over the center. Doesn't look like we're going to make it out of here alive within the ratio of the time limit. This is not going to count for the dojo. And once again, I'm in 4th place, solid. Solid 4th place. So now, can I do this? Welcome to the dojo. We've got what you need. I don't know what the next lyric is. All right, that's what I was hoping to hear about, because you stopped in. So were you there when it was, oh my God, 8 days ago? That is the drawback, apparently, to opening poker clubs in New York City. There have been a few ironic private poker clubs in New York City. And from what I can remember, nearly all of them had attempted robberies. Which is kind of a bummer, right? So E5, and how are we surviving this? Oh, fine. I appreciate it. Namaste. I don't have the ability to offer a draw. Did I make it? I didn't make it into the top three. I'm going to finish in my perpetual fourth. But namaste, you're a gentleman and a scholar. Ron, you are. What is the story on this reverse Dutch? Gowan Jones on the black side of this reverse Dutch. Pretty logical. Yeah, E4 makes sense, but we need a second opinion. Wait, have I missed it? Reload. What's going on here? Oh, I was gonna say, that's me, the bridesmaid to the bridesmaids. Every single time this week. No, really, that was really nice of you. I thought I actually had a chance for a brief moment in time. I just accepted the draw. Conte de Luna, you are a beast. I mean, I was very happy we had a chance to play in person, because you certainly are strong, and you are very resourceful, and you are the real deal, Conte de Luna. 2583 performance. Beast mode. That means you beat Ron twice, probably, right? Is that true? Oh, I guess. You beat Miguel Bautista. You knocked him down and then I took him out. You only had 2 games. I remember when I used to be a customer to Miguel Bautista. My score is 3.5 to 5.5, so I slowly climb back with that one. First time you played Conte de Luna. Congratulations. I can't say that it's an experience I would recommend to anyone. I can't say it's an experience that yeah, he has I mean, he really, even though he did play in a very casual sense before the pandemic, he really started playing during the pandemic. If I'm not incorrect, I am actually feeling terrible. Absolutely feeling terrible, but I don't remember more about our visit to Dubai together. But I hope I'm not outing him here, is an opera, I believe he was an opera singer. He could just be a singer. He definitely did opera, but he has a great voice. Who else was an opera singer? Smyslov? And you fun chess on YouTube. How are you? Quite crazy. I'm just going to take a quick peek and see who's Who's stinking up the joint at Tata Steel? We know that Geary and Magnus and Mamedurov are first, second, and third. I'm sorry. Magnus, Geary, and Mamedurov are first, second, and third, respectively. Today, Magnus plays Karyakin. Oh, that's a great score to settle. That is a great score to settle. What is the wiki? Ah. Wow, Magnus Carlsen is going to win his 8th Tata Steel. That's what he's going for. This record will never be broken. 5 or more titles. Is that crazy? Apparently, and I did tune in, the playing hall of the Mac. Wow, that's quite crowded. Don't you think? This is not COVID safe. 2018. Like, you can barely walk down these aisles. Once you're in for the duration. You're not getting out. That's all I have to say. This almost looks like a chess tournament in the United States. And this is truly a great picture for anyone who really wants to know what a chess tournament looks like. So the only difference between this particular tournament and a tournament held in the United States, if you can imagine it, is that in the United States you have to bring your own sets. Can you imagine? You have to get there early and set up your own sets. So I can't imagine. I mean, this is like an amusement park where you have to seat the people in the middle first and let the rest pile in afterwards. Isn't it? This just seems crazy. Oh, I can actually zoom in further? Good God. This is like MagnaZoom. Too bad it's not good quality. That actually looks like Mike Shahade there. Jen Shahade's father. I don't think it is, though. He hasn't played in a long time. I would not know anyone in this event. How do I escape? I want to go back. Control 0. There we go. Control 0. And now I want to go back again. Maybe I have to X. Ah, but then I really go back. All right. Fair enough. That's the top guys. Maybe they're not holding the other section. Do we know? If they're holding the challenger section? I mean the festival section? So let's just see. Magnus cannot play himself, but he has Vidit, Karyakin, and Caruana. And Dubov. Wow, he's got a rough lineup to fifth. He's got to run the gauntlet. Over the board, Flash 5-0. That sounds lovely, Pegasus. We just call it Blitz. Are they calling it Flash? Is that why we have the fire on the Lee chess? For the Flash fire. Whereas Esipenko has the tail enders. Prague and Grandelius are stinking up the joint. They did not bring their deodorant. They're roughing it here. in last place. Sam Shankland, who no longer wants to do the work, or probably put in the hard work, or listen to Jakob Ogard, the head of the FIDE Trainers Commission. Jakob Ogard is supposed to be working with him, but I don't think he is. It's really hard when you have a famous trainer, because you're worried that your hard work and effort, all of your fame goes to the trainer, right? Like, how can you shine when the trainer is stealing all of your credit? It's a common problem, and one I understand, because it is one of those reasons why sometimes players want to work alone or incognito. Oh, the chess tournaments in Stockholm are packed in too, but you don't bring your own sets, right? More Grandmasters, more tournament history, former winners. The Wimbledon of chess, indeed. I have to click there. You couldn't make it so I could click anywhere. That is a very clever, beautiful looking port. Do you see this design? This is very well done, I have to admit. I'm not sure what they're playing in, but there are no windows on that. All-time statistics. Kortstoy 4. Kasparov 3. Bent Larson 2. Looking for anybody surprising down here. You see anyone surprising? It's nice that Walter Brown has 2 wins in Tata Steel. And Vaikanze, I should say. I would like to look those up. I believe this name is misspelled. Evo is IVO. But maybe I'm wrong. This Elo is 2376 now. Not bad. O'Kelly, one of my favorite variations, was white or as black. Ba-dum-bum. Trifunovic was apparently a very what's the right word? There was a lot of expectations over Trifunovic to become a better player at whatever moment. Ulf Anderson. Sam Shankland. He got his name on the chart, I have to admit. So is this for the challengers and what do you think? He received his old chess clock with a lamp that lights up when it goes out. Time has passed. He was ahead of his clock, ahead of his time with the clock in the good old days. That is very cool, Pegasus. With a lamp that lights up. So if the time runs out, the lamp lights up, right? That's what I'm translating a little bit there. So the chess clock time runs out and the lamp lights up. That is very cool. John Nunn with 3. I can't believe that Nunn didn't accomplish more. I had a lot of high hopes for Nunn. Oh, when the time runs out, the light turns off? Got it. Mark Dvoretsky. Hold on, what is this yes and no? On FIDE list. On FIDE list? So these are not FIDE rated players? That makes sense. But there are a few that are not on the FIDE list because they're no longer alive. That's what I would have to say to that. Like if he's not on the FIDE list. Born 1931. 2,500 is an estimated rating, probably. How can he not be on the FIDE list while Arthur Bisquire is? Because Arthur Bisquire is no longer with us. FIDE list. So it looks like we can click on the name, and he's only played one Tata Steel. Oh, it was the Challengers. Right, Group A. So winning the Challengers counts as winning Tata Steel. Hold on. I wanted to go back to see one more thing. Because I'm a huge fan of Grandmaster Walter Brown. I don't think Fischer ever played in this tournament because it was formed just after him. 1974. 1980. Ahead of Donner, Quinteros, Dorian. Yeah, I can see him prevailing in that one. We've really got all the information here. That's a much better way to look at it. They shouldn't have you have to click on it. They should just bring that up. The moment you click on the event, they should just let you. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Oh, this is the cross table. He drew the number 4 spot. This is even more impressive because he had to finish ahead of Korchnoi. Too bad we can't click on the game, yeah? So Walter Brown, he beat Korchnoi. He drew with Robert Byrne, the other U.S. player. Then he beat Korchnoi, Kovacevic, and Litgeric. He beat the 3 tail enders, Timon, Vanderbilt, and Sunianeto. And he also beat Lev Albert. I shouldn't say they're tail enders. That's pretty impressive. Oh, he tied with Yasser. Wait a minute now. I didn't realize Yasser was in here. Yasser only won it once. Wow. If I were Yasser, I'd still be there in the Challengers, trying to prove myself all over again. I hope you could see that. Oh no, it opened up a new window? Nobody could even see what I was looking at? Oh no, I'm so sorry. All right. I'm bringing it up in the Discord. That's That's very cool. So it literally has a light. That's so cool. Hold on here. We will share it. We will also let other people pay attention to it. And then, oh, so, yeah, got it. Can I zoom in? I guess not. I'm trying to zoom in. They used to have a chess clock that would just ring every 10 seconds. It was a single-phased clock with a bell on it. And it was a 10-second clock or so. Might have been a 30-second clock. Maybe it could be set for more than one thing. But everyone in the club would move at the same time every time they heard the bell because they couldn't afford clocks for every individual person. Very cool. I'm going to have to find that picture of the chess clock. So yeah, the thing I was checking out, Palbenko. Joel Benjamin. Ouch. He only played Viscount once? Cross table. Standings. Oh, I wonder if that's the Rouser Classical Sicilian. Tony Miles. Tony Miles never won it. It's hard to believe. Craziness, eh? Should we do a simul? I don't know. How are we doing on our follower goal? We don't have anyone here but the usuals, the regular suspects. I shouldn't say we don't have anyone here. We only need 4 follows for 5 gifted subs. How hard can it be, folks? How hard can it be? Check my schedule. But that game, I was going to show the game that Mamedurov lost to. I thought the commentators said Magnus was in trouble. Go figure. So not only does Magnus save the game, Magnus brings home the full point. So Thursday is an off day. That's all we need to know. So, round 9. It's really crazy how Magnus does it. I mean, I sort of know what he's going through because I don't know how I win my games either. Is Tony playing chess? Tony Miles? No, he died, unfortunately, a couple of years after we had gone to dinner together. I believe he died in the early 2000s. Alexa, turn on Master Chess. Where is it? Here it is. Great biography. His internet handle, by the way, his internet handle on ICC was "It's Only Me," which is an anagram of his name. Tony Miles, you rearrange the letters, and "It's Only Me." So I'm trying to think if this book came out after his death. Gonna try to see if they cover it. He was 46 and he died November of 2001. It was really tragic because I actually had just made his acquaintance and he was a super great guy. He was so funny. His humor was so biting. We were at the Chicago Open in 1990. Could it have been 2001 Chicago Open? It's hard to believe. Hold the phone here. Let's see if I can find. I'm not going to dox myself here, so I need to bring up the tournaments from those days. 2001, I won Foxwood, so it had to have been like 1997. Where's my Chess Federation? What's going on here? Why don't I have a menu in my bookmarks? Show bookmark bar. There we go. That's what was missing. I will share this with you in just a moment as soon as I bring it up. Oh, it's the fastest way, through my daughter's account. Because she played in the Chicago Open of 2016. And then I think I can show it now. So, yeah, the Open section of the 25th annual, this was a nightmare. My flight was canceled the day before, and they told me that I couldn't get another flight until like 9 a.m. the next morning, which would not get me to Chicago on time. So as a result, yeah, Wen Junju played and fought first. That's when I met Wen Junju as well. This all took place in 2016. So Jessica went with me, and the famous Tigran Petrosian, not the world champion, Ilya Nizhnik, which is the chess weeb, the other half of the chess weebs, the less seen of the chess weebs. Great to see Luke Harmon Vladi play. Grandmaster Alex Shabalov, Grandmaster Fishbein. That's Mr. Keaton Chiara. I wonder what it takes to get a Mr. in front of your name. My rating was horrible then. I know it was. I'm trying to think how far under 2200 I was. I'm fairly certain that I played in the open section. Hans Niemann? Wow, those were the days, right? If you want to see who he played, you can actually click on this. How old was Hans Niemann in 2016? Is that craziness or what? Ah, Zapata. My opponent from the first round is here. So Zapata got 5.5 points. Yeah, I got paired with Zapata right off the bat, and he almost didn't show up for the game. What does it take to get a Mr. in front of your name? Mr. Alexander Ostrovsky. I've noticed this a lot lately, that people have been adding Mr. What does that mean? So 5.5 points. Zapata, here we go. And that means that I got, oh, yeah, I played him in the 4th round. I take that back. God, my rating was so low then. 3.5 points. So I have to keep going in the open section to see all of my opponents. I remember one round I was accused of cheating by my opponent because I beat his son. He assumed that because I beat his son E4, A6. Yes. Right. This is what happened. So because my flight was canceled the day before, I had a choice between playing in the under 2200 section or playing in the open. And I chose to play in the open section. And this was my only win, and the father accused me of cheating. Because I was asleep during the game. Remember, my flight was canceled. I waited at the airport till very late, close to midnight, trying to get a flight. They said, there's no way. I ended up rebooking the following morning on United. So I took so not only do I stay at the airport till about 11 o'clock at night, then I have to come home, attempt to sleep, and then go back to the airport for another flight at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. in order to get there before round time. And, of course, I wasn't making it. What has my opponent accomplished in all of these years? What has he accomplished? Is he still playing? Apparently he is still playing. He played last weekend. I should go and hunt him down. He's only playing online, though. Got it. Oh, he did play in Iowa? St. Albans. The Hawkeye Chess Club. And he won the tournament. Woohoo! Oh, so he's like a tournament champion where he comes from. He won the tournament with a 2100 rating. Maybe that's why he thought that the only way I could beat him, half awake, by the way, I'm sleeping at the board because I can't keep my head up, and I beat this guy. I might have to include that game in my greatest games. I may have to include that game. Alex Bettinelli. I think he's a New Yorker. I thought he was a New Yorker, but I could be wrong. Did he used to be a New Yorker? Let's go back in time. Nope. Alex Bettinelli. I could have sworn that was an East Coaster. The Minnesota Masters. I've heard his name before and recently. Oh, you know what? I think someone mentioned it in the Minnesota broadcast, like not Naroditsky, but who else is from Minnesota? Another Grandmaster on the Perpetual Chess podcast. Yeah, I was just checking out. It has been a while since we've plugged the Perpetual Chess podcast. If you don't already follow them, you should. You can actually follow them in any form on Spotify. You can look for Perpetual Chess Podcast. I should probably link to that one. Is there any Ian Brooks? Hold on. You want me to do a lookup? I'm going to say home. Hey, their website is very glitchy. If you thought this is the old site, and of course I can't just hit enter. Ian Brooks from Pennsylvania. 2043. It's pretty amazing that the published ratings are 12 times a year. He is is playing the Beecham Club Championship. Let's see what the Beecham Club Championship is like. Wow, good for him. Rock and roll. What is the time control on this? It's hidden in here usually. You just have to look very, very carefully. There's a lot of stuff on this page. The time control is usually on this page. K factor F, 9 rounds, 9 players. Good morning, Rotten Lemons. How are you? Dean McAnulty. So I can't tell what the time control was. It's usually on this page. Section 1 unnamed. Interesting. It looks like they may have sent it in by hand. Sponsoring affiliate. Let's Google this one. Upper Marion, Pennsylvania. Eric Gossi. Well, remember, he is in the Challengers. He is in the Challengers. It's not like there's a lot of emotions going on in the Challengers. Although I have to admit, his score is beastly. But imagine if you put Magnus Carlsen or Dubov in the Challengers, right? And Nihal Sarin is like, you know, not quite Dubov. So literally you're taking somebody who should be in the top section and you're putting him in the Challenger section. And basically he's won a game or so, maybe 2 games more than he would have drawn. You know, so he's gotten a little bit lucky in a couple of games that he could have won. So Arnold Palmer, there's no way of finding this. And this is Champions. Need to put chess in here. That's what's missing. Richard C. Beecham. Nope. Not a chance. Teddy Coleman. That's pretty cool. Teddy Coleman is a good kid. I've known him since he was so young. I can't believe that he's as old as he is. He was one of the last assistants to Mark Arnold in helping to train him when he was on his way to becoming a Grandmaster. It was quite cool. Yeah, no, he's the real deal, Pegasus. He is the real deal. So while I'm here, can I go this way? I'm going to go with, what's the word? 2700 chess. Let's go to 2700chess.com. Magnus has only gained a hair's breadth below 3 rating points here. Geary is surging. Is Firouzja not playing? I don't think Firouzja is playing. He has not generated any press. Duda, not having a great tournament. Rapport, no problem. Mamedurov, still way ahead, having lost to Magnus. So over here you can see what games have been rated by clicking on the Games Archive, avoiding the ad, and you get to see the latest games that have been rated. So the live games on 2700 Chess. The other very cool thing about this is to see the Rapid, the Blitz, and the Juniors. So Hans Niemann is now 2641. He's 18 now. So 5 years ago, he was 13 and 20. No, 6 years ago, he was 12 and 2300. That was quite good. He's playing the Chicago Open. Will he break 2870 with this tournament? I hope so. I hope so, Lauren. Fabio. Picciaro. You played a correspondence game with him under the pseudonym Fabio. All right, Pegasus Fabio. No. I think you were just looking up his games on chessgames.com or something. The wish list. What? This isn't supposed to be here. Wait. Dude. I think Claudia put this in the wrong wish list. Yesterday. Move. Claudia and Anakin's wish list. Yeah, the Amazon wish list. So, From London to Alista is a very interesting book. Oh, this one has to go. Play the Orangutan. There's no way I'm going to get that one. There's no way anybody would actually probably get that. Nail it like Nepo. Some of these books I do want to study. I want to look at. Some of them. I just don't necessarily want to invest to a great extent in Nepomniachtchi. We should wait for that price to drop by more. Can I move it to the top of the list? That's so funny. Whoops. So meanwhile, back at the ranch, Tonto, not knowing the Lone Ranger was disguised as a door, I would like to think that he'll break 2870. I mean, he's been much higher than that before, so I don't see any reason why he can't. Uh-oh. Do I need to do this first? Or is it this move first? Check. This contains a very serious threat, right? Of rook h5, so how does he stop it? It's craziness, right? Do I need to check him first? Is there a threat? What is the threat? Ah, this one. Always pay attention to what your opponent wants. Let's close this window so we can return to our regularly scheduled puzzle streak. And we're here. Oh, we didn't look at, we did not finish looking at skewer. Theme. So yeah, Yakov Ogard. Yeah. Yakov Ogard in the latest Perpetual Chess podcast. It is a great one to listen to, by the way. He's the head of the FIDE Traders Commission. And episode number 111 talks about how to think in chess, talks about simple decision making. And I didn't realize that I actually do the same thing as him. Or similarly to him, I should say. Basically, I insist on looking for weaknesses. And, of course, you have to look for weaknesses before you can really get to the candidate moves and everything. So what is happening here? What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there saying, son, you got to beware. All right. And now the double attack. What? That was a little extreme, doesn't one think? It was either queen takes c8 check or queen takes g6. Those were two tough choices. Is our queen trapped? It's okay to lose a piece? So black has 3 minor pieces, white has 3 minor pieces. This is craziness. We can't just retreat our queen and be down a bishop. Can anyone make sense of this assessment? This move wins a piece, a minor piece, a bishop on c4. I feel like I've stepped into the twilight zone. So after d5, the best move is either taking the knight with the queen or taking, just because we don't want to lose a bishop. So we're not down a rook. We're not. I don't understand this assessment. Yes, I have that one. Karsten Hansen, Peter Heide Nielsen. It's still a lovely book. I think the drawback to a lot of these books is that, hold on. I'm going to go over there and get it. It was time for a stretch anyway. Oh. So I'm comparing it with the original. So I have the original from 20 years before, I guess, right? Sicilian Accelerated Dragon. And then you have the 20th century edition, which has a slightly different font, a mildly different cover. Say it's totally different chess set. It's the same exact concept. A photo of the chess pieces, basically. The only thing that's changed is that the move order, e4, c5, knight f3, knight c6, d4, cd4, is not on the cover on this one. So the great thing about this, you do get a lot of complete games. You do get a lot of complete games. We should do our 24-hour tall stream. That's what we should be doing. Well, first things first, okay? In order to find the candidate moves, and I realized that this was missing because I don't want to stress just looking for moves without regard to the position, like rook to c1, rook to b1, rook to a1, right? You're looking for good moves. Good moves contain content, and the content is going to pertain to an idea. So, for example, what is weak in this position? Black has an isolated pawn. We have no way of defending it. Black is actually threatening our queen. What is our opponent threatening? He's actually threatening our opponent's queen. He's threatening a pawn on b2. But we should also consider what we are attacking. We're threatening the pawn on h7, which has a very difficult time being protected. The king cannot escape because of our control of the e-file. So what we can do is attack that pawn in one of two ways. So we have queen h5, queen h3, queen f5, perhaps. I don't really see any other move. What's the difference between queen f5 and queen h5? Well, queen h5 and queen h3 can be met by h6. So queen f5 can only be met by g6, and then we take. Yeah, no, I like this. And also, Karsten Hansen lives not far from me. The author of this book, the hardest working guy anyway, Peter Heine Nielsen, commented that he wrote this book with... he also had a Perpetual Chess podcast interview. I can't remember what number. So I'm just running I'm listening to so much Perpetual Chess podcast at the moment. I can't even tell you. It is a lovely book. I think that it's... I'm going to check this here for a moment. I can't tell who the publisher is. Karsten Hansen has been doing a lot of ebook publishing. Yeah, Karsten Chess. 2018 by Karsten Chess. He published this himself. Forward to the 20th anniversary edition. So, we decided to add additional value to the book. A brief summary by Peter Heine Nielsen on the current standing of the opening. 10 more bonus games. 6 annotated by Peter, 4 annotated by Karsten Hansen. And then he lists the games that are included within the text. A bonus chapter featuring all of Ben Larsen's games in the opening and related openings. So the 20th anniversary edition contains a bonus chapter featuring all of Ben Larsen's games. Some of the games are annotated in full in previous chapters, and some are light annotations accompanying them, and some game scores just stand on their own. How come nobody's requested Bent Larsen? Good grief, you guys. I want to do a 6-hour stream on Bent Larsen, not Magnus. Everybody knows Magnus. I have to say that I also play chess in as much... I love Bent Larsen's creative style. He was quite incredible. So we can see that if we play the move Queen F5, the only way to stop this is G6, which loses a bishop. And I have had this tactic in my lifetime. I've had that in a real tournament game in my lifetime. So now it looks like we're taking advantage of a pin, right? And it's a discovery. The knight can't move because of the queen capturing the queen. The only square the knight can move to is back. And he has queen e6 check. And if I return with my queen, what has he got? Or should I just capture? So there's another check that looks bothersome. That was a tough call. Queen takes g5 would have been incorrect. But it wasn't because of... I'm only getting the piece back. I thought I was winning a piece. Ye gods, folks. That's terrible. Yeah, but I remember you talking to me about the, what do you call his name? The Chuchalov system, and that system seemed extremely clunky to me. Like, I agree. So, Jakub Ogard, the FIDE trainer, I'm trying to pronounce his name properly. Yes. It's a classic in Danish, too. You must have a plan. You've adapted it to make it quicker. So there are 4 simple questions that you just have to ask. In most positions, there are automatic moves, right? Let's take this game for the most part, right? There are automatic moves. C5, for example, is one of my favorite rote automatic moves. So you have automatic decisions where you just make the decision to control and attack the center. Then there are strategic decisions. And then life starts to get complicated. Strategic decisions, which have to require a little bit more thought because you have to work on the placement of your pieces. And then there are critical moments. And then for me, there are at least 3 critical moments in a game. And as far as critical moments go within a tournament game, I used to have a formula that you would try to use at least 10% or less than 10% of your time on a critical position. You had to use a minimum of 5% of your time on a critical position. So if you have a critical position, and I'm going to define a critical position as a game-changing moment, a moment in the game where the evaluation can swing in stature from, let's just say, a slight advantage to a clear advantage. I don't know what, I can't recall what Jakub Ogard's assessment was, but I do know that I spent around 3 months and reduced it to 5 positional elements. Wait just a moment. The Chusekin system is not for calculating then. The Chusekin system is for assessing a position and forming a plan, maybe, not for calculating. Forming a plan for a position is very different from calculating. Forming a plan means that you can use a bit of schematic thinking to recognize, without the knight being on f6, of course, that a knight that's outposted on e4 will be lovely for black. This bishop also needs to be addressed. We need an open file for our rook, so we have to actually plan ahead for that to a certain extent. Yeah, I do know that there are Steinitz's positional elements, which there are about 9 positional elements in Steinitz's table. Steinitz gave a certain amount of planning and assessing, but Capablanca really, when he was in the Moscow Chess Club, I think in 1925, that was a real eye-opener. Or maybe it was, I don't know if it was St. Petersburg or some other tournament, but basically Capablanca shows the Russians how to think schematically by identifying the strongest squares for all of the pieces and then making a plan to reach that position. It may have been around the time of Capablanca Janowski, which is lauded by Shereshevsky in the first game. So far, all automatic decisions. This one's a tough one. I have to admit, this is a tough decision. I don't know that I could actually capture. There's no threat for him to push this pawn. I don't necessarily want that knight to reach the c3 square. I would rather have them be redundant on d2 and then capture. But okay. The opponent goes for the Carlsbad pawn structure. In the Carlsbad pawn structure, you have a standard line like this. And it's usually most closely associated with the exchange Caro-Kann with colors reversed here, or the Queen's Gambit declined. Sometimes I get this from the London with the bishop on f4 and the bishop. So this is also a London for white with the Carlsbad pawn structure. And we're basically going to... When I looked at that system, Lauren, the only thing I was leery of, I mean, it's obviously a good system. I'm not saying that it's not a good system. The hard part is, and I don't blame him, because if I became a master or a strong player, or if I have success, not unlike Yakov Ogard, having a lot of success with Boris Gelfand and Sam Shanklin and Ganguly, I believe. He has a lot of success with a lot of these players. It's hard not to tell everybody that your system is the best system. So I'm curious as to who he named his system after, right? Who was the player that he named his system after? That's a rhetorical joke, because we know that he named it after himself. God forbid I should ever be able to name something the MacArthur system. Ye gods. Somebody else can do that years after I'm dead. They can say, you know what, MacArthur always played creatively. And then Carlson came along and stole his thunder and did the same thing at a higher level. So here we go. Hanging objects. Yes, identifying weaknesses. Equal objects, undefended objects, vulnerable objects. Yes, yes. So those are the 5 that you have broken it down to. I wouldn't call them positional elements, though. This is in the weaknesses chapter. For example, hold on 1 second. I need to get a guard. I need to get a guard, because he talks about this too. Let's see what he says. Oh. I mean, he covers it in all of his books, honestly. I need to get coffee. So the Grandmaster Preparation Series was written a little bit as a joke. Geometric objects, yeah. So basically, I have the same issue. Let's see if we can see one that arrives in this position. So this pawn on d5 is isolated. It could be weak. We have a rook controlling the open file. Fought for, and we did not exchange that rook, by the way. We didn't get rid of the rook on e8. White managed to get rid of the rook on a8. So white exchanged the rook on e1 for the rook on a8. I didn't think white was very strong. Well, now black lost the tempo. Lost the tempo. Why didn't you want that bishop to be captured? In this position, I most certainly would have started bringing my king in toward the center. Here, my weak king is an issue, right? So hold on, we're gonna compare it, and we still aren't bringing our king into the center because we can actually tag that knight as an unprotected knight. And now we have a bad bishop as black versus a better bishop, and this king and white should just win this game, honestly. So white exchanges off the weakness. Right? Is this crazy? I want to meet this guy who's playing white. Mate trap. He's still playing. He hasn't quit chess yet. My advice to him is to quit chess. I'm paraphrasing John Belushi on another collegiate scale. Wait a minute, this isn't the same position. Oh yeah, it is. I never bothered looking at the end of it. So it was a London. Oh, and it is a Caro-Kann. Now it's a Caro-Kann. It's also a Queen's Gambit. Now it's a relatively horrible position for black. So black does not want to trade pieces because he's in the endgame. Let's change our sounds because they're very annoying. I apologize, everybody. Lisp is too set. That's too weird. Is that okay? I don't know. I don't know if I like that either. Oh, here's the sound volume. I never knew that existed. I actually kind of like the so let's see, 4 questions. Can I win right now? That's so funny that he has his. I can't wait to get a hold of Ogart's because he talks about Pentala's, or sorry, imagination in chess. I wonder if I have that one. Hold on 1 second. Peter. Peter Gaprindashvili. Pata Gaprindashvili. Let me check my G's. 1 second. You know it's bad when you can't know if you already have a buck, right? M's fine. Evans. Wait a minute. Oiva. Oiva. The Middle Game in Chess, Book 1, Book 2 by Oiva. Hardcover. So Agar, Gallagher, Gaprindashvili. Interesting. All right, we have to find this book. How to think creatively and avoid foolish mistakes. I can't believe I'm going to pay full price for this book. This book was on clearance at one time. We can also add it to the wish list. Only 10 left in stock. Order soon. Grrr. You know? These are exercises And he talks, and Ogard, Jakob Ogard talks about how he doesn't like the thinking methods in Gapardashvili's book, Imagination in Chess. But he does like the... So finally, at long last, in a totally level position, right? This is like the worst move in the position. I wish I could turn on the engine here, but we'll do that later. So now there's absolutely very little to play for. And with the bishops on the board, this is just a dead draw. We could just move back and forth. One way to lose this, or win this, depending on how you look at it. So here, let's fix him up. Fix him up. Right? We're going to analyze this game afterwards, by the way. So now that that one's in place, we certainly should fix him up. We have all the tempi in the world if we need it. And black has none. If we play b5, right? So this is getting extremely exciting. I think black is better now. Oh, and this is the position, black to move. Black is just better. We get to play h5, I believe. Yep. So let's go back in time here. So after pawn takes, g4, a4, and I believe even g5, b5. There's no danger here. So if we do this, there's just like literally no danger. And on f5, we can exchange everything off and we can hold our ground. Yep. Then we go back to the bishops on the board. I just wanted to see this assessment. So white is better. Maybe he doesn't really have anything. So in this position, instead of bishop e8, king f8 is the better move. This is one of those things that I like to... 75. I usually fly right through to 40 on both this and Survivor on chess.com. I fly right through to 40 because they're all easy. And then I talk myself out of it. So white to move f4. Any move other than c4. When you play c4, it goes to 0-0. And white goes from 0-0 to lose right here. And then kaboom. So all white has to do is lock down on the center, right? Yeah, this is easy. The main reason this king cannot leave the area, this pawn cannot be pushed without it being lost. This pawn will break through and this pawn will queen. What is your high score, Lauren? Have you been doing it long? So I know this isn't your original server. All right. Weaknesses. Weaknesses. The bishop, back rank, pawn on e6. It's hard to fault a move like queen to f7. Right? Queen to f7. Queen to d8. I had one run in the puzzle streak. Yeah, it saves your progress. Yeah, 53 on, because I always wipe out. Like, you'll see one of my scores. I zoom all the way to 53 and I got 3 wrong in a row. It was like catastrophe. Chess.com's Puzzle Survivor also saves your progress, by the way. So where's my whole screen training? See, here we are. But if I forget about this, I think there's a limit. Like, I usually fly through to 40. I'm at 40 on both of these. But now, for our next trick, I'm going to open up Microsoft Edge. And I'm going to go to Puzzle Streak. So it saves it in the cookies of the browser. So I can get to 40 here as well. Yeah. Wow, and let's turn down the sound again. You guess. Is that reasonable? So the first thought, second thought, third thought. Are we here just to win material? I think we are. Let's get up to 40 in all 3 browsers. How about that? I'm going to go back to Puzzle Streak for a moment. Oops. This is not showing the right one. I need to close the other one. Go to the original score here. There we go. So this is Microsoft Edge, Puzzle Streak, and we're at 31 here. Check, checkmate. I may need to go to attend sunrise. That much is the case. All right. So meanwhile, back at the ranch. This is pretty obvious. This could be pretty obvious. Is this a fork? That is the question. What is he threatening? He's threatening this. Right? So it looks like we better act quickly. Takes. If we don't take the rook right away, they also have either knight e3 or bishop e3. But usually it's not. Right? Usually it is not taking the thing at all. Puzzle Racer score, I don't even know what my Puzzle Racer score is. I have to look. Ditto, 57. Puzzle Storm, just a shade better. You are a puzzle master, Lauren. 2460 after 805. I don't even know. I did not know my own scores here. I am going on a tear to solve all of the puzzles in the Lichess database, but they're creating more puzzles as we speak every day. It's like brutal. Now I'm up to 132. So we're back. And the moment of truth is... Oh, I didn't finish the thing that I was talking about before on positional play while someone contemplates this. He believes in identifying weaknesses and playing and simple decision making. Basically, the calculations are the hammer, according to visualizing the 3 questions. My intentions with this book. Where are the weaknesses? Which is the worst placed piece? And what is your opponent's idea? Where are the weaknesses? Which is the worst placed piece? And what is your opponent's idea? And these are the 3 questions upon which you can form any plan or line of thinking toward calculation, if needed. The purpose of the 3 questions is to direct your focus. The difference between theory and practice is that in theory there is no difference, but in practice there always is. What makes this book a bit different from most of the other books is that the emphasis is on the decision rather than on the understanding behind the decision. To make practical chess, we need to make it simple. And calculation is a very important skill, but still it is only one of the tools available. Doing it right is more important than getting it right, which is absolutely the case. The process is what you are practicing, not the accuracy. The process of finding a good move is what you are doing, not the accuracy. So I want to just point that out. And what level is this book aimed at? The positions in strategic play are more elaborate and will probably be more suited for players over 2300. Basically, there's a story. If you haven't checked out the Perpetual Chess podcast, Tanya Sachdev attends a camp with Jakob Aagaard in Glasgow and is in way over her head. She's the only IM, I believe, in the chess camp. And she realizes that there's no chance for her to solve the exercises at all. She's just like swimming in the exercises. She cannot solve any of these exercises. But on the good side, apparently Boris Gelfand in the beginning could not solve the exercises either. So Boris Gelfand ultimately enlisted Jakob Aagaard as a trainer. And everything worked out for the better. So it looks like our queen is being attacked. I didn't actually even see that. So we're definitely going to be capturing. My queen is being attacked. That was the kicker. I did not look at that one. I could have lost my queen in any other thing. And I believe that no, you're not playing you're not practicing calculating in blitz chess. You're practicing simple chess. You have the calculation book, I believe, right? So he emphasizes simple decision making. So check out his discussion in Perpetual Chess Podcast 111, please. Baskiran Ariban and Sathuraman, and I would emphasize thinking inside the box. I think most of the decision making is coming from thinking inside the box. Yes, you you are not practicing calculation. You're practicing assessments and simple decision making in blitz anyway. In blitz, in rapid, you'll see me. Because we actually don't really play rapid. We have a 5-second. No, you're not supposed to guess either, though. So I'm going to be very, very firm on this one. Very practical decision making relies on trusting your intuition quite a bit. You're always going to get into trouble during a game. My favorite was my good friend Alexander Ivanov. Sorry, I have to open the window a little bit. My friend Grandmaster Alexander Ivanov, who would get into massive time pressure every game. He would literally play every game, winning the U.S. Championship. He won the U.S. Championship as a 5-minute tournament. Basically, he sits there for the entire game, calculates, looks over, has 5 minutes left on his clock, and then he has to pound out all the moves. And then he wins the tournament. Every single round. No, you haven't been doing it wrong. You are trying your best to work on your calculation. That is important to you. It's important to me. You haven't been doing it wrong. You've been doing it a little differently. Do I have my other chairs? Does this thing still work? Let's just see. Oh, this is cool. This is my my back vibrator. That's the best thing about it. I don't turn it on during stream because it yeah, Blitz is not the place for it. In my rapid, I do concentrate on what I call the 3 critical things. And the 3 critical moments are the only times when calculation is necessary. Please listen to Jakob Ogart's, and you're going to be inspired, because basically simple thinking is not practiced by a lot of grandmasters, not even Alexander Ivanov. Imagine that Alexander Ivanov, Grandmaster Alexander Ivanov, could have been a world championship contender if someone had taught him how to just make a simple decision. And you're practicing simple decision making in blitz chess all the time. All right, you're practicing simple decision making in blitz chess all the time. I'm going to close up shop, I think, unless oh, we can't actually bring this, we can't bring this up in the classroom, unfortunately. That's unfortunate. But, wow, did we fall all the way to 68 subscribers? Did everybody expire? That's crazy. Within 10 seconds. No, we don't. That's why it's important. Please check out Ogart's. I'm struggling to pronounce his name properly. But you can find the Perpetual Chess Podcast, Lauren. Should you actually become a supporter of the show, let him know that I sent you. But podcast number 111 is a little bit of an eye-opener. Now, Ogart does come off as a bit arrogant, but all of the best in their field do come off a little bit like that. And of course, it never occurred to me that you weren't doing that. Believe it or not, it never occurred to me that you were not 111. It's not that hard. I actually thought about putting on the stream. I really did. Hold on here, I'm going back to just make sure. I'm looking it up. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Recently played. Yeah, it is 111. And he has Mauricio Flores also. Remember the other guy that we were talking about? In 109, he has the chess structures guy on the podcast. Once you start listening to this, Lauren. So yeah, this is Mauricio Flores Rios. Mauricio Flores Rios is in 109. And Tanya Sachdev is 108. You have to listen to 108 and 111. They're connected. The Flores guy, yeah, the pawn structures guy is episode 109. For those of you, I actually listen to Spotify, the Perpetual Chess Podcast on Spotify, quite often. I don't know if you can friend me on Spotify, but if you friend me on Spotify, then you'll be able to listen along with me sometimes, because I will be listening when I'm commuting. When I'm driving into the city, that's it. I'm Spotifying it up for the most part. It's almost time. It's looking like a little bit more like spring outside. What is it, the end of January? No, we're still in winter. So 108 for Lauren and 111. Tanya Sachdev. She is the opener. So yeah, she couldn't do any of the exercises, so Jakob Ogard tells her to grow a pair. And she's like, I'm quitting the camp. He goes, grow a pair. As the opener for it. She tells the story of attending his camp, and then you get to hear it from him right afterwards. And he talks about Gelfand struggling with the exercises. And really, it just makes you want to dig right in. Like, I just want to do all of Ogard's exercises now. I want to just put them all into Lichess and start solving them. So what I usually do, honestly, is I would set a timer. And I won't overdo it. I'll do as much as I possibly can. And I won't overdo it. So, for example, we'll bring up our free timer. I'm going to go to the birthday events. So here's my free timer. Right? And I can set it for 5 minutes. And then I can start it up. And we can start analyzing the next exercise, right? So here we're only going to 40, by the way. And this is a simple remove the defender issue, because we know that they're attacking and we're attacking, and we have a removing the defender with check. No, but Lauren, this is the very cool part about what you've experienced. Believe it or not, I mean, obviously you're in your 30s now. Happy belated birthday again. I still can't get over you even being remotely close to me in age, honestly. Can't believe you're remotely close to me in age. But, yeah, since I'm 39. I used to believe, because this was the case in the old days, that when you listened to the radio, the music groups would actually go to the radio station and play the music, and you would listen to it on the radio. And I'm like, wow, this is a great radio station. They have all the best artists. And I pictured the artist lining up around the block to go into the radio station to play their next song for 3 minutes, right? And they just basically just all file in. And believe it or not, I was not wrong. That is how they did it. That is exactly how they did it prior to Bing Crosby. Does anybody know the significance of Bing Crosby and the change in the music industry? And I should add a command, because it is really great. Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to add a command for supporting another amazing podcast. There's a podcast, there's a 5-episode podcast on National Public Radio or on Radio Lab called Radio Lab here. And they talk about how the American troops were cleaning up Nazi Germany, and this fellow runs across audio tape that is of uber high quality. Like, he cannot believe the quality in the cassette recording tape. So everybody attempted to record music prior to Bing Crosby. But the quality was so bad that they could not record artists at all and then play them on the radio. Literally, any quality music on the radio or television show, or I'm sorry, radio program and all of that, had to be performed live in the studio, in the radio station, by the artists or by the actors, because there was no quality tape. So they're cleaning up Nazi Germany, and the Germans have this quality tape that this sergeant discovers, and he cannot believe it. And he literally picks up the whole cassette recording room or whatever, packs it into a truck, and brings it back to the United States. And he's attempting to try to figure out what makes it so, but he doesn't have the resources. So he takes it, or some friend tells him, you need some more heavy artillery. So he takes it to Bing Crosby. Bing Crosby's like, this is ridiculous. This is not going to work. And Bing Crosby listens to it and goes, right? Like high quality audio recording, like you would not believe. Like you can't tell the difference. But people would know the difference only because somebody says that it is a recorded. So therefore, Bing Crosby puts like, I don't know, $5,000 into it, which is like $1 million today, $5,000 or $10,000. You have to listen to the mixtape 5-episode series. I believe that's what it's called. It's on Radio Lab. If you search for Radio Lab, it's another amazing podcast that I love listening to. And Bing Crosby then starts recording his shows in advance so he can actually spend time at home with his family. That was his major, major goal. His major, major goal was to spend time at home with his family. That was the end of it for the most part, right? Quite crazy. I'm going to give it a 1-minute timer. So I literally thought when I was a child that the artist had to go into the radio studio in order to listen, so if we could listen to the music that we hear in the car, right? I thought this as a child, all the way up until I was close to being a teenager. And when I was close to being a teenager, I remember walking into a major mall. I'm going to get your question in 1 second. I remember walking into a major mall, and I saw an album of the Beatles on sale, on the aisle. And I bought the album of the Beatles, and I brought it home, and I'm listening to it. It was like the first album I ever purchased of my own. It was like Introducing the Beatles or Meet the Beatles. I can't remember what it was. And I'm listening to it, and then I get this revelation that this is what's in the radio station. I can play all the songs back to back of any artist. This. Thank you, Pegasus. Yeah, Bing Crosby and magnetic recording. That'll clear up any sketchy business in my retelling of the story. I cannot promise that I've been absolutely accurate on the amounts of money, how the sergeant got him the recording, or how he found out about it. But Bing Crosby's goal was to spend more time with his family. And the family that he spent more time with after magnetic recording was far nicer to him and had better memories of him than the family before the magnetic recording. The family before the magnetic recording was a lot like mine. My daughters love me, but they know that I've spent too much time away from them. So it's good for me to schedule time with my daughters. In fact, I'm actually hoping to take my grandson to school in about 25 minutes. So that is very cool. Thank you, Pegasus, for that link. 2013 marked the 110th anniversary, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, recorded music. Amazing. Hold on. I wanted to check this out. The Philco Radio Hour. That's right. 2 discs were needed to record the show, and a lot of people stopped listening to them at first. But yeah, I remember when I bought that album. I'm going to save that. Thank you, Pegasus. I'm going to keep that. The cassette changed the world. The cassette tape changed the world. Well, and I need to find that again for a moment. 1 second. Now that I've got 2 of these open. Radio Lab. Mixtape. Already here. They have the Obama effect. I swear, they have such amazing things. Copy link address. There we go. Radiolab is one of my favorite podcasts. And I have used Radiolab for learning, by the way, quite often. Wait a minute now. I'm going to edit the command. Oh, it is on the way. Episode series. That's what I wanted to type. So we're back to Lauren's question before we can get close to. So, genuine question. What do people in Blitz and Rapid, what do people do in the Blitz and Rapid games? Do they think at all? Well, you're relying on a lot of experience. You're relying on a quick assessment of the position, paying attention to strengths and weaknesses, and simple calculatable elements. Basically, the short-term effect. Like, you can't calculate deeply. You're not given the time. This is one of the reasons why, if you are going to work on calculation, many grandmasters don't want you to play anything slower than 15 minutes because they want you to work on calculation. But on the other hand, I think that is the wrong end of the coin because you can't calculate every position. You do have to have the ability to make simple, practical decisions. And if you don't make simple, practical decisions based on the elements of the position, pawn structure, piece relocation, coordination, and improvement, then it's really not worth it. I mean, what are you going to do for the most part? What are you going to do? So basically, when you approach thinking in a Blitz or Rapid game, you have to be very, very practical. That's right. I start to do it even in the puzzle streak for the most part. What we're working on right here, right? Basically, this queen This queen is unprotected. Instant, like, I wish I could take it. The king is very exposed. Our opponent does have a threat. So if, let's just say, if I try to double rooks, I get mated. So our opponent does have a threat. On the other hand, I can't put my rook on f6 either because the queen will just capture it. Our opponent's last move, and this really helps. Our opponent's last move was to put the queen on a square where we might be able to take advantage of it. So the moment of truth. Perhaps we are going to take advantage of the exposed nature of the king, prepare the idea of rook f6. The king cannot move so easily. Let's just say if queen f6 checking, the king cannot move because we have more stuff coming in. So where's the king going to move to? The king can't move to the g file, can't move to g8. So this very natural move looks like it is the start of the entire calculation operation. Now already we're going to remove a defender because he has nowhere to go in this position but to e2. And we've accomplished our goal. I did not calculate more than 2 or 3 moves ahead, and I just well, I prefer Ogard's questions better. What are the weaknesses? And these 3 you really can calculate quickly. I repeat, you can calculate them quickly. What are the weaknesses? What is my worst placed piece? And what is my opponent's threat? What are the weaknesses? What are the worst placed pieces? What is my opponent's threat? And you can apply this to anything at any time control very quickly. So for example, here we have a very similar thing. The queen is on the other end of a rook. Now, automatically you had this in your positional elements, but this is how I teach chess to kindergartners as well. There are 3 long distance pieces. Everything on that line is attacked by the long distance pieces. I like to teach the idea of the X-ray. So the G2 pawn is under the influence of this bishop. To me, that's not an element that needs to be considered if you know how the bishop moves. I need to set up so I can zoom in. But on the whole, no, what you really need to learn is how these pieces move. You can never ever stop learning how the pieces move. So for example, yesterday I had a lesson with an amazing student for the first time. Much older student, around 1300 in strength. And I asked him how much a pawn is worth. And and basically you run through the thing. They knew all those values, right? They knew them. They knew them. But the hesitation in the thought process tells me that they had not internalized them. But for the same reason, we really have not internalized the moves of the pieces, knowing that this queen is attacking everything on this line. Okay, so let me just stop there for the most part. So yeah, this is a critical moment in a game. I would say that all of these are critical moments. So these require very short 15 to 30 second decision-making calculations. And that is what it's all about. So my first thought is to consider the possibility of playing queen takes f4, except that we can see that the knight is guarding. So we're going to remove the defender of the queen and then take the knight. Basically, that last one was a perfect example. In this position, I can see that the rook is attacking the queen. I have the ability to take this knight. All I have to do is remove the defender of the queen. And that was very simple decision-making calculation. And you are going to be rocking it, Lauren. Namaste. I also have to take care of my grandson. I would like to drive him to school. That would be nice. Who do I raid? Rocky Road Trippin'. Mastering DMG. Where is I Am Hungry? Is she taking a week off? Uh-oh. She was in trouble with her parents. Her parents were really upset with her the last time. She raided me. I hope she's okay. Right? We can only hope that she's okay. Chess Dojo Live. What are they up to on their stream? I love it. You know what? Let's visit Jesse Cry, and we will raid Chess Dojo Live. Everybody, have a great day. He is actually working on calculation as we speak. And he is also promoting Chessful. So if you've not joined the Discord, please do. If you're not following me on my socials, now is the time. And if you are not participating and practicing and taking care of yourself and planning your own schedule for tournaments, add these to your calendar. Add this to your calendar. Cheers, everybody. Have a great day. Lauren, Pegasus, namaste. Ciao. Thank you so much.